sister Hayley, my best friend Zach, and I. And we're just driving around in one of Zach's paddocks in Zach's mum's car. And so we decided to go down this hill. When we were going down this hill, it was unknown to us at the time, but Zach's car had no brakes. So we started driving down this hill, and it started to get pretty fast. And I turned and told Zach, oh, we better slow down. He said, oh yeah, we'll get there. And we kept going down this hill, and we realised at the bottom that the gate was closed and the fence was across. And there was no way to get around except for us to drive into the creek. We started getting closer and closer, and I turned to Zach and said, Zach, we have to stop now. And he said, yes, my foot is on the floor. So we kept driving, and at the very last moment before we died in a fire car crash, he turned into the creek and saved us. It was one of the many near-death experiences I had as a 7-year-old, like I'm seeing here. There's my story. But since boarding down here in this region, I've had less of these fun times. It has made me realise the benefits of living in a rural community, rural farm outside of Georgia, not only with the adventurous side of things, but other aspects as well. The warm community, a population around the 8th of Comet Bay, and an endless horizon of paddocks for living space. My life in who I am would be completely different if I was raised in an urban area. Our lives and our perspective in the world is based on how we grow up, and then the environment around us is important. It is important for us to know how different areas can affect our way of life, whether it be for better or for worse. My view on how rural areas, like the small farming community north of Georgia, provides a better environment to fulfill our needs and improve our general quality of life. Most of you know how much crime is committed in the city. Take, for example, break-ins. Rick in Halls Head had one not that long ago. Jackson Street in Secret Harbour was home to a spree of burglaries when he first moved in. And Megan in Greenfields had a house broken into 4 times in as many years. However, crime rates in rural areas are significantly lower than those in cities and metropolitan areas. This includes all forms of crime such as assault, rape, property damage, and arson. All horrible crimes endanger the safety and security of all our lives and the ones close to us. You can see in the graphs above that rural areas have half as many property damage, half as many violent crimes compared to cities on a per 100,000 persons basis. You have to lock your doors when you go out, lock your windows when you go to bed, and lie in fear when you hear a noise in the middle of the night. I never had those fears until I moved into the city. You see, living in the country in a large block provides a peace of mind to leave your doors unlocked when you go out, and leave your windows open when you go to sleep. We can also feel safe and secured about our health and future with the fresh air and required physical activity in an isolated area. The prominence of pollution in polluted air in metropolitan regions are prime causes of lung cancer and other diseases. But in rural areas, manual labour is encouraged and the air is clean so we're safe from diseases, obesity and dirty air. And when our safety is really threatened, we can always rely on members of the community. Now Zach, the one that saved me from certain death earlier, is my best friend. I mean, he's the closest thing I have to a brother in this world. And he's been by my side ever since we first met. Now the way we met is that we were neighbours. Well, as close as you can get to neighbours in the country, like you can see here. But how many of you have this with your neighbours? How many of you actually get along with your neighbours? Most of us don't even know them. But is this a lack of friendship and belonging that we really want in our community? This is the main problem with living in a metropolitan area like this. It just isn't possible to know and get along with thousands of people living here. While we may question the importance of a strong community and its relevance to our own lives, a strong community benefits not only society, but the individual as well. A sense of belonging is needed for all human beings, and a lack of this in urban area is a cause for depression and isolation. Because the fact of the matter is, people in rural areas want to get involved, and they want to help each other out. When we know every person on a name-by-name basis, we develop a mutual respect, whether or not we are friends, because we can all see the bigger picture. When we become something more than just ourselves, we can become part of an actual community, one that supports itself and the ones around it. Some people may think that living in such a community, such a tight community, would be an intrusion to privacy. Is this really all that bad compared to an urban area so crowded that people are isolated and shut down from society in their own homes? I asked a few of our classmates what a stereotypical view of a farmer was, and it was as I expected. Dumb, dropkick, uneducated. They look hot in movies. However, this could not be further from the truth, except the hot part. Come on. The amount of intelligence required to run a farm is immense. I met some of the smartest people I know out in the country. I mean, not just anyone can run a farm, with so much planning in every aspect of it. Here is a study in the US comparing those living in the cities, in blue, and those living in the country, in green. From this you can see that more than 68% of people living in the country had graduated high school, and a massive 22% had a bachelor's degree or higher. Back in Australia, my dad was one of the small 8% living on a farm that didn't graduate high school. And earlier this year, Dad had to go back to school because he wasn't educated enough. It was only 5 days, but it was 5 days he wasn't allowed to work on the farm because his boss wanted all employees to be up to date. I mean, look at some of the cabs he's driving with new tractors. They're worth $250,000 each. Wouldn't you want your employees to be educated too? Living in small communities gives us a safe and secure environment, one which we can feel we play an important role in obtaining respect and achievement. Overall, rural areas provide perfect conditions for our style of living that helps not only as individuals, but as a society as well to reach our full potential. This is something that metropolitan regions prevent us from, as they create an environment too individualistic in nature, and are a catalyst for depression and anti-productivity. We can see now that where we live has a huge impact on our lives, and choosing where we call home is an important choice that we'll all need to make one day. So why not choose a place that will maximise the quality of our lives? Thank you.